Anyway, let's go into this like 4.0 patch watch, Fire and Metal. I did take a peek at this one beforehand, so this is a little bit of a pre-watch, but it says, welcome to our second edition of Patch Watch. In our Patch Watch series, we highlight upcoming features, improvements, and fixes not shown on the public roadmap. With Pyro, server meshing, new missions, and more coming to the verse, there's a lot of new content to explore. However, there's a few updates that might not get picked up on your radar, which you can find below. Epic loot, no contest. Contested zones are coming to the verse in 4.0. An all-new location type, first arriving in the Pyro system. So they have an idea that they want to put them somewhere else, I guess. Excuse me. These uniquely crafted areas provide both a challenge against entrenched pirate gangs, as well as other players after the same treasure that you are. One such gang is the community-crafted fire rats. This is cool. Think cultists from Tarkov. But they're shipjackers, apparently. So make sure your ramps are closed. And then below are some of the examples you might find within the zone controlled by the fire rats, with heat-distorted design to complement the game's aesthetic. Now, I will say this. All of this stuff at the moment, I've also never seen this armor before. So this is new to me. Everything else is old news to me. What we know about this is that these are just... Community Crafted was, they did a live show like many, many years ago where they said, hey, make a gang for Pyro. And like with the community, the lore people made the fire rats on that live stream, and now they're in game. As far as I know, there are no different stats to these weapons. So these are skins that you will, like weapons skinned, that you will find in, I think this is Checkmate, by the way. And what's kind of funny is there is something conveniently missing from these images. So I'll give you a little bit of additional info that you may not know. There are not just guns that look like that, but the scopes and attachments on the guns have the same skin. So even the barrel had the I forgot what it was called. Something fire, something soul. I can't remember the name of the actual skin. I had seen it a while ago. But they actually had like a compensator with it. They had the scope that had the same color. So it was scorched. Scorched it was. Correct. So they had like scorched compensators and I think a 4X, something like that. So pretty cool stuff there. But yeah, look out for scorched stuff if you like that design. Not really my favorite or anything. But I don't think it gives any additional stats. It's just a skin. Yeah, you saw a Tau with it. So did I. Then the Carrack, as many of you probably know. Cargo pods work. And the covering or whatever, the blast shields, which, yeah, we've seen a lot of that content. So we now have 456 SCU of cargo that we can interact with on the Carrack. Then FOIP improvements. I don't know anything about this or care. I don't have a webcam attached to my gaming PC, but a lot of people care, I'm sure. Expat Brat is pogging. Alpha 4.0 brings it with it a couple of improvements to the FOIP system. FOIP uses your webcam so you can head rotate. Range of motion for the mouth is now wider. Stabilization has been added to help jitter. Secondary motions have been added for extreme poses, and the tracking algorithm has been refined overall. So nothing too crazy there, but like, you know, what I still continue to like is none of this loot is epic in comparison to the loot that you'll find right next to the Scorched stuff. Right where you find these, you find way better loot. Now, I think people might really enjoy the armor, but there is way better stuff at these contested zones even in their placeholder form right now, than some Scorch stuff. So I think we'll need to look forward to it. I think I missed this part as well. Other gangs still have their heels dug throughout the Pyro system, such as Horizon, Xenothreat, and more, all with their own spoils. Follow the trail of treasure, and risk will be worth the reward. And we know what that reward is. Catch Week in Review this past week, if you want to know, I guess. And I guess that's it for this patch watch. In the end, 4.0 is a server meshing patch. That's really what it needs to be. And I'm personally, I think people are going to be a little bit disappointed that 4.0 is not this massive, massive, massive patch, even though it is. It is definitely not what it could have been with engineering and base building or whatever, right? Like, it could have been major. But it, while still being major, I think people are going to be like, it's not that great. And then, I don't know. We'll see. I'm really interested to see how it all plays out, because it really just comes down to trading, salvaging, and mining in that system. You know what I mean? Like, am I just obsessed with that aspect of the game, or do you guys agree with me? Because without, and what I mean by trading, I also mean these contested zones, is like getting that stuff out and also being able to trade with other players, not just like the cargo hauling trade that we've had forever. But if they don't bring Stanton adjacent people to Pyro by like drawing them in for rewards and things, then it's going to be a very dead system, right? So we'll have to see. I think it should be a place where PvP and piracy and things like that thrive, where that's their spot and they thrive there. But I also think it needs to be a system where people really, 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 really want to go, but they're a little scared to go there, right? So we'll see how it all plays out, but for now it looks pretty boring. But it's still kind of looking like Red Stanton, but we got that server meshing going on, which is the most important thing, and that we might see it build as time goes on, which I think is a fair expectation to have. But I do hope on day one that it's enticing at the very least.